forgot to record.
Now tell them about
it. He is all in the mood.
He's like, hold up. See what happened was, I was at this hotel and they had these brownies and I ate one and I'm still feeling the effects.
So kids, this is no bueno. This is bueno. Kenny drove this truck into the shop, ran perfectly fine. Customer wants a DOD delete, stage 1 cam. Tore it down. This is what we found. Truck ran fine. Cam looks fine. Lifters look fine. Push rod does not look fine. So now we are back to assembling it. DOD deleted. Stage 1 BTR cam, new springs, push rods. Installing some American Racing headers with catted Y-pipe.
Because that's what we have to do.
Even if we're lying, we have to throw the catted downpipe in since we got a warning from the EPA.
It is truly
everything has cats now, but this was truly
this truly has cats.
And I had a customer yesterday like, do me a quote with headers, and I'm like, you get the headers.
You get the headers.
And sign something saying this is for off-road use.
Don't ship them here. Ship them next door.
Yeah,
we'll pick them up.
We're finna have a $180,000 fine one of these days.
Beats the diesel freak fine.
Yeah, theirs is a little better, more stout.
So yeah, we'll get this finished up today. Hopefully get it running and post some videos for you guys.
Chelsea was like, what are you gonna do about that? I'm like, I don't know, the same thing I did my whole entire life and not really care what the police said.
Yeah, it's just a warning.
I'm like, they're just warning us, it's fine.
It's a slap on the hands.
Yeah, before they come and raid us, we got a little bit of a warning.
Slap hands, slap hands.
I mean, you can't even buy headers anymore, like, without cats for the most part.
So tell these guys what you're doing to the red car, because you got it running.
Yeah. I put a couple time lapses together we can add in there, but so I built this 430-inch forged Brodix headed LS7 for the red car because the only reason I bought this car was the plans to put a blower on it because I've never had my own blower car, and I'm really jealous of everyone else when they drive around like shh. So I wanted to do it too. But then our friend Aaron wants it, and I'm like, well, this isn't the most sound financial decision I've ever made, especially since at this moment I'm modifying the bank's car. I want to thank Northland Federal Credit Union for letting me borrow $27K on this. I think I owe about 24 right now. It's no big deal. I could have just paid it off, but instead I put a $24,000 engine in it. Yeah, it was a better plan. I'm like, it's like renting a street car, you know? So I put some money down. Well, this was a really good deal, and I didn't have the cash for it.
The question is, did you get the gap?
No.
No gap?
I figured it's a poverty bet. It's a shitty 2007 base model Z06, you know?
It's just a shitty Z06.
Yeah, it's a shitty Z06.
That's a work truck.
Yeah. No, I didn't have all the money for it, and it was at the time it was a stellar deal. They're starting to drop now. But this one has a ton of mods. It's got an RPM level 7 trans, RPM stage 4 diff, ZR1 torque tube, G-force axles for like 1,800 horsepower axle. So like the drivetrain's built for 1,000 plus. So I was like, perfect. I pulled the stock motor and sold it to a longtime Facebook friend, shop owner down in Tennessee. Shipped it down to him. Bought a better clutch. You know, just did all the stuff that you think, you know, everything's $500 anymore. So ATI dampener with the 8 rib for the blower stuff, $550, $500, $1,500 clutch, blah blah blah. So added up quick, but now I just going over everything. We made 10 dyno pulls, broke it in pretty good. Just changed the oil, checking the push rods. A couple of them were close to the intake port when I put it together. And for some reason, everybody always said, like, valve train's more stable if it has just a slight rub on the intake port, or, you know, the port. And I was like, I'm gonna test this theory. So I ordered some smaller diameter, thicker walled push rods. And I just put them all in, made sure the valve train was happy, all that good stuff. Like I said, just kind of doing a once over. put a couple fresh new plugs to read on them. Just want to check it all over. Like I said, change the oil, new filter, blah, blah, blah. I mean, a compression tested a little lower than I wanted. The piston was below the deck, 14 thou. So I went with a 40 head gasket, which if I was building this NA, I would have stopped what I was doing and took the block over and had it decked. But I mean, really, it's going to be beneficial having that little bit of a compression loss drop, I should say. But it's like, if we were going for all out motor stuff, I would have done something different, get the compression up a little higher. But I got to keep in my head, it's gonna get a blower one way or the other, whether or not Aaron seems like he's gonna buy it, so that's cool. I'd rather someone get more use out of it. I only put 800 miles on it last summer. So if Aaron buys it, great. If not, we're still gonna put a blower on it because that's what we bought the car for. And yeah, so excellent blower motor, super stout, really strong rods. So it's got the newer Cali's Extreme HI beams in it. So they rate those at like 1800 horsepower. Like I said, it's got an RHS block, so plans was just keep it at like 950, maybe 1,000. Just kind of keep it alive, but nice, fun street cruiser. Still has AC and all that stuff. We're not racing everybody on the internet because we don't care what other people think. So yeah, just wanted a really awesome daily driver street Z06 because Z06s are cool. So that's what we did, and I'm just gonna throw this thing back together and make some more pulls now that we got it about maxed out. So I think if that's the dyno runs, yeah, the ones are over there. No, never mind, let me change it. I gotta switch her over.
Oh yeah.
I gotta cluttered. Yeah, so the old motor with these tires exactly the same. The old one had Frankenstein F710 heads and a stage 4 BTR, and it made 599, 520. So this one, we did a smaller cam. It's 11 degrees less on the intake duration, so it works better with the blower. All story short, drive a little nicer, stuff like that. Like, it starts and runs great. And it only lost a couple horsepower, but it picked up 13 foot-pounds of torque, more through the whole curve, the green line. So a little peppier, minus that little bit where the other one peaked but then fell off because it was a harsher, you know, that's the distinguishment. Like, the camshaft is more aggressive because it dropped RPM quicker. It's losing control of the valve with those valve springs with that cam load. So this one's more stable, pulls a lot higher. Like, I rev this one out to like 7,800, 7,900, and it ends up finally falling down, but like, it still carries. The old cam fell off hard. So a couple benefits, you know, 15, 20 torque almost through the whole thing, and then a higher RPM curve. And that's partial to newer cam design, better cam lobes, things of that nature. Cylinder heads are smaller. So, you know, the Frankenstein F710s are a very large 10-degree race head. These Brodix are 12 degree with Iron Mask Airflow is just CNC program. They're not hand finished or anything. So I just basically port match the BTR intake and port match the throttle, like nothing crazy. So it's great. It's down a little bit. I guess you could say 3 horsepower ain't really down. Just because it's in one spot, it's up everywhere. So the car should, in theory, accelerate a lot faster with 13 more torque everywhere with the same power curve and higher. So should be a win-win. And it'll be a lot stronger than a factory LS7 block by a long shot, because those have a pretty notorious weak sleeve and obviously very weak piston. So this is the fix. Like I said, RHS rates them to 1,100 horsepower. I've seen a lot of people break them in the past, but I've also seen, you know, a lot of people break a lot of things that they shouldn't because they're reckless. And then I've also seen people make 1,600 horsepower on a turbo combo on RHS block. So I always have to think to myself, who's at fault? Is it the block's fault, or is it the guy tuning and driving it and getting greedy and yeah. So it should be pretty fun either way. On a 600 wheel horsepower SAE corrected Z06 is not a bad thing. Obviously everybody, I was like, I should have made more, but I just got to remember I did put a smaller cam in it and all that stuff, so that's all right.
Remember, it was faster than my truck last year.
That's true. At least it's not as slow as Andrew. Hopefully this year he does.
Be worse, kids.
Yeah, hopefully he does something this year.
Yeah, hopefully.
Loser. Loser. We grab that oil filler funnel thingy. Funnel. Yeah, that's the word.
So you are gonna do a F1X if you keep it.
No, it's too big. I decided against it. F1X is a really laggy blower.
So which one are you gonna go with? Because that's gonna be everybody's question on what blower Kenny's gonna get.
Probably, honestly, gonna do a YSI-B, and a lot of them come around 1,000 wheel. So it's about their limits, but that'll, like I said, that'll suffice what we're trying to do for sure. That'll get us where we want to go. Thought about an F1A 94. I think they're a little harder on belts, so I want to do the most reliable and sensible one. And I think a YSI-B really is what fits all of our goals. Like I said, just we won't have to wring it out. We could probably run 15, 16 pounds of boost and make 950 on this motor. So it wouldn't be heat soaking the blower. There's a lot of things. Might be a really great combo that way. So honestly, that's what I think I'll do.
Now you gonna gut it?
No, not yet. If Aaron buys it, then no, just because.
But if you keep it,
If I keep it, I'll probably put some light seats in it and a lighter battery and maybe get rid of the AC and some other stuff.
because you're only making 900 to the wheel, you gotta lighten her up to get to where you want to be.
Like I said, it's all fun and games until you start breaking stuff, so I definitely don't want to.
That's what they make underdrive pulleys for.
Yeah. That one's on there for a bit.
Yeah, don't listen to Andrew. Then you'll just be pissed off.
Well, like that kid that was just going to trade us that black one, his made like 980 on CT's dyno, and that was 10% underdrive with a 2.7 upper, so it was 21 and 22 pounds of boost, but he just had, you know, whatever compression 408 with LS3 heads. So, I mean, he realistically had a 525 or 550 wheel combo, whereas I think this one would respond a little bit better to boost, being that everything's aimed around it. He didn't even know what cam was in it and stuff, so.
And it's got an iron block, so it's heavier.
Yeah. It won't be no Kong 2650 ZR1, but it'll be cool.
You'll be able to run with them.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty fast. They hit. If we got to, we'd just spray her. Take 50 pounds out, throw 50 pound bottles in the beach.
300 shot.
Like I said, I don't want to get crazy on the block. It would be my luck. I don't like to get greedy on stuff, and that's when you start tearing parts up. That's not what I'm about. It's expensive when you gotta do shit twice.
Or 3 times.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you. Probably put 7 on it to start.
I'll never forget when I changed the oil on the red truck. We thought it took 10 quarts.
Yeah, there was oil
It's
everywhere.
early style Zo6 oil tank, like the one in this car that holds 8 quarts. So then I overfilled it, and oil ran out everywhere.
Yeah, it was a good one. Experiment.
Remember when you got that oil pressure sensor and it blew out
Twice.
twice?
I was not very pleased about that.
The girl at the parts store didn't know what to do.
Yeah, she was like, buy this one, it's better. And I was like, hey, guess what? You want to go on a date sometime? She's like, sure, where are we going? I'm like, come to the shop and clean all the oil out from underneath my truck before I kill you. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's your fault I bought that stupid oil pressure sensor. Alright. Coils, plug wires, injectors. check that side. Excuse me, Dick. Double, triple check.
What are you doing? I heard a lot of like drills and grinding and.
Oh yeah, I bought some 7700 push rods from Comp and put them in because the ones that we had, the 3/8 ones, were rubbing on the intake walls a little bit more. A lot of people are like, we like doing that. It gives it rigidity, and it might be true. But I was like, I'm gonna get some 516 105 walls and see if it helps. But now I got to make another pull with a fan on because it lost 40 horsepower with the fan off. And correction factor is lower today because it's drier in here, so there's no humidity. So I'm gonna let it cool down, check the oil, and then try again. But yeah, I had to grind 0.135 off a bunch of push rods because there were 770-77135, and it's like we got these short travels, so it just hung 4 of the valves open, and I'm like, this is so annoying that nobody makes anything good anymore. Nothing's right.
No.
It's all different. So there was just 4 of them that were 7.7135. Well, these lifters have a 0.035 preload with plus or minus 5 is all you can do, and it's off. So yeah, there's out of the 16, there was like 6 of them that were too long, and I'm like,
damn it.
So you know, I was grinding them down slowly but surely, and then put them in a drill and put them in some not in, but use some sandpaper. Like I stepped it from 4.6 to 2000, made it polish out, and I'm like, yeah, it just took me like 4 hours, so that was fun. It's really exciting. So probably just gonna get a hold of Trend and have them make a set and put them in there so they're all the same.
And then call it a day on it, so it's done how it needs to be.
Yeah, and that's what's really annoying. Trend will make a little bit thicker wall too. Cause that thing, I was just revving it. I revved it out to $8,000 on that one.
Wow.
So it still revs good, but yeah, I'll let it cool down, check the oil, and we'll go back at it when we got the fan and stuff on. That makes a big difference with that mirror.
Pull look way more better.
I put fuel in it and it picked up.
Smooth it out on top.
Yeah, I got a little bit more to go over like $6,000, but up until there it was pretty close.
So the different wheels and tires.
And better preload. I messed with those. So this motor finally made more than the old one.
That's good.
Yay.
Because the peak last year was what, 620 to the tire on the old motor?
Yeah.
So 628's not bad. What'd you get for torque? 550 foot-pounds of torque?
Yeah, it's something 20 foot-pounds of torque. I'm gonna fix that top up a little bit better too. It's gonna pick up even more. I don't feel like it, but when we take it off the dyno, which kind of seems counterproductive, maybe I won't. It's just so freaking annoying working on it on the dyno. I'm probably gonna pull all front of the, because I did all back 8. I'll do the front 8 and get them right where I want them too. I didn't even check those, but the front ones were firing. Like I said, when we put these ones in, it didn't have any compression. I'm like, you have to be kidding me. So, I don't know why they can't make them all the same size. When you got if you ever install short travel lifters in your car, if you haven't before, like I know people that have changed computer systems in their cars because they thought something was wrong with it, but really they just preloaded the lifters incorrectly, so it had no compression in cylinders. But the short travel lifters, especially with the hydraulic roller OEM rocker arm, you don't have any leeway. I mean, you can't run it. Say if you had like an LS7 lifter, you could probably put 2 different push rods in that and it would still run good. You wouldn't even notice. Like I've done it before where like my red truck, when I had the LS1, I put 2 different sizes in it and it made 5 pounds of different cranking compression. That was it. It still ran the same, drove the same, but just 5 less compression cranking. And like, yeah. So anyways, you have to preload them exactly correct. And like I said, out of those, I only checked 8 because that was the 4 that were misfiring. But out of those 8 push rods, there was like 6 of them that were too long, basically. So, like I said, it was my own fault. I should have checked. I stood them up next to each other. I'm like, yeah, they look good, you know, because I had already measured the old ones. So, but yeah.
Just sucks you gotta do it 8 more times.
Oh yeah, I know. I just wasted 5 hours of my life, and my back hurts because I'm old. But all right, I'm gonna break this down and do it one more time.
All right.